Lee from Ombra got in touch to ask if he could send me his first watch, not for review, but just so I could check it out and give him some honest feedback, which I gladly accepted. A new brand actually wanting critique rather than free advertising, that's practically an endangered species in this game, so I was curious. But once the watch landed, I thought it deserved a proper review. For under 200 quid, it's a surprisingly compelling package. Sure, it's not my usual thing. I'm far too boring to pull off something this flamboyant. My daily uniform is joggers and a t-shirt grabbed out of a Sports Direct bargain bin and accessorised with a tasteful smattering of last night's dinner stains. But some of you own an iron, wear polo shirts made of actual cotton and generally look like functioning adults, so this might be exactly your sort of watch. This isn't a sponsored review. I'll be sending this watch back to Lee when the video is uploaded, but while I've got your attention, if you enjoy what I'm doing and haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. It makes a huge difference and I really appreciate it. Genuinely, I still celebrate with every new subscriber. So, the Ombra Blaze. Is it any good? Let's find out. Specs-wise, it's a 43mm stainless steel case in black PVD. It's 13mm thick with a 47mm lug-to-lug, so a fairly chunky thing, but more in a big enough to make a statement way, rather than it looks like you've borrowed your dad's suit for your first job interview kind of way. Up front you've got a flat sapphire crystal, and around the back a display case back so you can actually watch the movement earning its keep. Speaking of which, powering it is the 2650 SSZ, a proudly Chinese skeletonized automatic beating at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It's not chasing awards for accuracy, but it's certainly easier on the eye than yet another NH35 grinding away in the dark. And all of this is strapped to your wrist via an integrated silicone band. Which is perfectly fine if you like silicone, and perfectly infuriating if you're not a fan of a clammy wrist. The Blaze's case is a round square hybrid, half cushion, half industrial slab that manages to feel modern without straying into novelty watch gimmickry. On paper, the proportions sound a bit monstrous, and yes, it is a substantial watch, but the short lug-to-lug and that thick, integrated rubber strap force a natural curve around the wrist. It wears far better than the numbers suggest, which is a relief because the numbers suggest you'd need the forearms of a lumberjack to pull it off. The bezel sits just a touch proud of the mid-case, adding a visual depth and saving it from the dreaded black hockey puck aesthetic. And what's surprising here is the finishing. The case sides show a fine straight brushing, neat and deliberate, rather than the sort of belt sander job you'd half expect at this price point. Over the top, Ombra has gone with a uniform dark PVD coating that's deep and even. More matte onyx than shiny plastic. Too often, PVD either looks cheap and starts rubbing off if you so much as look at it the wrong way. Here it feels solid and stealthy. Then we get to the bezel screws. 6 star-shaped imposters, purely decorative, sitting there pretending to hold something together. They had a bit of mechanical theatre, but personally, I'd rather Ombra either deleted them altogether or at least PVD'd them to match the case. As it is, they feel like stage props. You know they're fake, but you play along anyway. Round the back, there's a screw-down display case back showing off the movement, and the signed crown is satisfyingly chunky, complete with a silicone O-ring that ties it neatly into the strap. Sadly, it's only a push-pull crown, which means 50 metres water resistance. Technically fine for everyday use, but you won't be taking it on a beach holiday unless you enjoy living dangerously. A screw-down crown would have made this a proper sporty travel companion. The strap is fully integrated, flowing out of the case in one continuous sweep. It's thick, high-quality silicone, and the bright orange colour is bold, modern, and basically impossible to ignore. The downside? It's not removable. That means no strap swaps, no experiments with colours, and, worst of all, if it fails, the watch risks instant retirement. Ombra promises a solid warranty, but it still feels like an open goal missed. Strap variety is half the fun with watch ownership, and this one locks you into that orange whether you like it or not. Put it all together and you've got a case design that balances muscle with refinement and finishing that's frankly better than it has any right to be at this price point. It's a strong effort, just with a few quotes that make you think, this is decent, but it could have been really great. If only they'd let me change the strap. Skeleton dials are usually guilty of one thing. They look dramatic, but reading the time feels like squinting through Venetian blinds. The Blaze actually sidesteps this trap. Ombra has added fine mesh layers beneath the chassis that act like a backdrop. Still see-through, still open worked, but with enough contrast that the indices and hands don't disappear into the movement. It's skeletonization with some common sense applied, and the result is surprisingly legible. The layout itself refuses to play by the usual rules. Instead of the predictable 12, 3, 6 and 9 anchors, Ombra drops the quarter markers entirely and goes with 12, 4 and 8 instead. It shouldn't work, but it does. The triangular registers break the symmetry just enough to give the dial a distinctive rhythm, geometric, modern and a little bit rebellious. The handset is bold and angular, filled with C2 lume. The lume isn't going to light up a cave, but it does hold a faint glow in the small hours, enough to orient yourself without fumbling for a torch. Around the perimeter, a crisp minute track gives the dial structure, with sharp pops of orange at the quarters and on the seconds hand tying it neatly to the strap. It's a small detail, but it makes the whole design feel cohesive, like someone actually thought about colour beyond let's just paint it black. Visually, the dial layers do a lot of the heavy lifting. The mix of cutouts, mesh panels and the applied markers add depth so you don't get a flat plate of steel peeking through. Every angle catches a different interplay of shadow and shine, giving it a sense of dimensionality that belies the watch's price point. Put together, you end up with a skeleton dial that's both striking and practical, a rare double act. It's bold without being unreadable and modern without feeling gimmicky. A proper example of how to do see-through without losing the plot. Inside beats the 2650 SSZ skeletonized automatic, and while it's a raw, industrial, budget-friendly engine, it's a clever choice here. Exposed through both sides of the watch, it gives you a lot more visual interest than the usual anonymous Seiko workhorses. The bridges are cut back, the gear train peeks through, and the rotor in particular has a sculpted, almost turbine-like look that adds a touch of theatre when it spins. It's not haute horology, far from it, but it doesn't pretend to be. It's reliable and just dressed up enough to keep the see-through theme engaging. Let's hit pause on the video because it's giveaway time. I'm giving away this stunning Welly Merck WN226 when the channel hits 7,500 subscribers. To find out how to enter, click the link in the description. And if you want even more chances to snag watches, I run a members only giveaway where I give away all the review pieces I get sent, as well as offer early access to videos, exclusive content and a good old chinwag in the members posts. Fancy a shot at multiple watches every month? Just tap the join button or hit the link in the description. The money from the members goes directly to the costs involved in getting the watches to the winners. The next giveaway in the pile is for the Theta Interstellar series, and the winner will be announced on Friday the 19th of September. So join now for a chance to grab this and many other watches. Alright, shameless self-promotion over, let's get back to the video. On the wrist, the Blaze makes its presence known. It's big, intentionally so, but not absurdly oversized, and thanks to its clever curvature and integrated strap, it settles onto the wrist with surprising ease. You get the visual drama without the wrist fatigue, which is a rare and welcome trick. But who exactly is this watch for? Let's be honest, if you're the type that spends weekends arguing on forums about the correct shade of gilt on a 1950s Submariner, the Blaze probably isn't aimed at you. This is a watch for the casual wearer, the person who wants something bold, modern and a little bit different without needing to check themselves into watch therapy to treat their addiction. And in that role, it delivers. The build feels solid, the finishing genuinely impressive at this price, and it wipes the floor with most of the high street fashion watches cluttering up shop windows for similar or even higher money. The only lingering worry is that integrated strap. To be clear, it feels strong and well made, but should it ever give way, you can't just pop down the local watch strap stall and buy a new one. Your only option is to send it back for repair. It's not a deal breaker, but it is a limitation. Hopefully, Ombra offers a future version with interchangeable straps, because aside from that one quirk, this is a seriously good looking watch with real potential. Bold, wearable, and, in a way, refreshingly unpretentious. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.